Hello, everyone. On this podcast episode, I'm going to talk about being alone and why you shouldn't be worried about it. In this world, we live in a world of duality, a world a world of equal and opposites. If you find one aspect in this life, you find its equal and opposite. For example, the equal and opposite of nothing is something, right? If you find something, you find its equal and opposite, nothing. If you find yes, its equal and opposite is no. Before, its equal and opposite is after. Tall, equal and opposite is short. Existence, and its equal and opposite, non-existence. This is a world of equal and opposites, a world of duality. And it's called duality is because there's two. Positive and negative. That's two. Equal and opposites. Tall and short, that's two. Equal and opposites. Existence and non-existence, that's two. Equal and opposites. Particle and wave. Light exists as a particle and a wave. So these are equal and opposites. It's one particle and it's also one continuous wave at the same time. So how does this play with being alone? Well, the truth is you're never alone, because in this world, everything is separate. But because everything is separate, everything is also one. Because the equal and opposite of separate is one. You live inside the body of God, because God is everything. Because God is everything, you're inside God. So because you're inside God, you will never truly be alone, because God will always be with you. So that's what I'm trying to say, is that although you appear alone, you're not truly alone, because God will always be with you. Even the word alone is all one. A-L-O-N-E. O-N-E is pronounced one, and A-L is pronounced all. And the word all means God, because the word all also means everything, and the word God also means everything. These two words are synonymous. Everything and God are synonymous, because God is omnipresent. Because God is omnipresent, God is everything. So when you say you're alone, you're also saying you're all one. That's what that's the hidden meaning behind the word alone. All one. Because everything in this world is one. Everything in this world is God. Because everything in this world is God, you will never truly be alone in this world, because God will always be by your side. I'll leave a quote in the description of this, episode from the Bible that says the same thing. God will never leave you. It's not impossible, but God will never leave you because you're God. You'll never be worthless either. Many people hate being alone because they think they're worthless. They see themselves as worthless because the society tells them that they have to be in a relationship to be a valuable human being. You don't have to be in a relationship to be a valuable human being. Alone, you'll still be God, because God is everything, including you. God is everything, including you. So you'll never be alone, because you'll always be God. And since God is everything, the only thing that's truly alone in this world is God. Because God is all there is. God is the only thing that exists. Because God is the only thing that exists, God doesn't exist. It follows the concepts of duality. When everything is tall, nothing is tall. That's how duality works. If you put everything at the same height, right? The concept of tall no longer makes sense. When everything is short, nothing is short. When everything is human, the word human no longer makes sense. Your entire body is human, right? But because everything inside your body is human, Your cells will never see themselves as human. Each cell in your body has its own, it's categorized into its own definition. Teeth cells, hair cells, lung cells, blood cells, the different types of cells. From the point of view of cells, the word human doesn't make sense. Everyone is different. When everything becomes one no longer exists. That's why you don't see God anywhere, because God is everything. His very existence, the fact that He's everything, makes it hard for you to see Him. Because God is everything, that's why He doesn't exist. It's not that He doesn't exist, it's because of duality. If everything is small, nothing is small. If everything is large, nothing is large. If everything is moving at the same speed towards the same direction, nothing is moving. And Earth is that example. Earth is a perfect example of when everything is moving towards the same direction at the same speed, nothing is moving. When you stand on planet Earth, you won't feel the Earth moving at all. This is how duality works. When you stand on planet Earth, because everything on Earth is moving towards the same direction, at the same speed, you will never feel Earth move. When everything has the same traits, share the same traits, it no longer shares that quality. That's how this world works. Because everything is God, God disappears. That's why atheists keep believing that God doesn't exist, because they keep expecting God to be a human being. They keep expecting God to be a human figure that walks the earth, just like Jesus Christ. But the God of the Bible is omnipresent. The God of the Bible created this world out of His own body. And since everything is God, nothing is. That's why people don't see God anywhere. They look for God in the trees, but they don't see God. They see tree. They see a tree. They look for God, in space. They don't see God in space. They only see space. So they just assume God doesn't exist. But it's just an illusion. Just because the earth doesn't appear to be moving from your perspective does not mean the earth is not moving. Just because the earth is moving from your perspective does not mean the earth is moving. This is a world of duality. Just because the light appears to be a particle from your perspective does not mean light is a particle. Just because light appears to be a wave from your perspective does not mean light is a wave. Light is a particle and a wave. God exists and doesn't exist simultaneously as one. Your body functions the same way as God. Your body is made up of many cells. But because all your body is filled with cells, you will never see the cells with your eyes. Your cells don't exist. There are many people who will never see, because they don't see individual cells, they automatically assume cells aren't real. They tell you that scientists are lying. They see their body and they see organs, but they don't see a single cell. Because everything in your body is a cell. And because everything in your body is a cell, you no longer see the cells. You no longer see the cells that create your body. And that's how this world works. The equal and opposite is true with the cells as well. Because everything in your body is you, your cells will never see you. They'll only see themselves. When a cell looks around inside your body, it doesn't see you. It sees other cells. And because it sees other cells, it automatically assumes you don't exist. Just like when you look at your hands, right? Do you see cells? No. You see fingers. You see fingers, you see fingernails, you see a palm, you see skin, but you don't see the individual cells, do you? That's how this world of duality works. Many creates one. One creates many. Just because you don't see God does not mean God doesn't exist. It's because God is everything. That's why you don't see God. You're no different from a cell inside God's body. Because you're so small and God is so large, you'll never be able to see God anywhere. Because God is everything. Just like your cells. If you look from the point of view of cells, they don't see you. They see themselves. Because they don't see you, they automatically assume you don't exist. Your hair cells do not see you. They're too small to see you. They only see other cells. Yet, their very existence is you. Every cell in your body is you, 100%. But from their perspective, you don't exist. That's how God works. Because God is omnipresent, you will never see God anywhere. Because you don't see God anywhere, you automatically assume it doesn't exist. Just like your cells will never see that you exist. When you tell people that God is everything, they'll tell you no, I don't see God anywhere. When you tell your cells that every single cell in that body is you, they'll say the exact same thing. It's impossible for it to be you. Each cell is not, it's not a drone. It's its own individual life form. Your cells can exist outside of your body on their own. And science shows that. Even after you die, some of your cells still live on after your death. They are their own individual life. They live on their own and they die on their own. This is how this world works. Your cells live on their own and die on their own. They have their own choices to make in life. Just like you. So from their point of view, you don't exist. But yet, that very cell itself is you. It's 100% you. Yet it will never see you. Because it will never see you, it'll automatically assume you don't exist. And that's the problem with atheists. Because they don't see God anywhere. They automatically assume God doesn't exist, just like cells. But just because you don't see God does not mean God doesn't exist. The very reason why you exist is because God created you. That's why you exist. So, let's go back to being alone again. You're not alone. God will always be with you. Do not allow people to deceive you into thinking being alone is something evil. It's not. Even the word alone is all one. You can pronounce it alone or you can pronounce it all one. Because everything is one. Everything is God. And God will always be with you. God will always be with you because God is you. God is always watching you. God will always be there for you. So before you jump into a bad relationship, many people in society jump into relationships because they don't want to be mocked and insulted for being alone. They don't want to be the useless loser that's alone. So they enter a bad relationship. They jump into a relationship with someone they don't like. Just so that, they won't be called alone. Without realizing that very act of pretending you like someone you don't like is a sin. It's a great sin. So if you spend your life jumping from relationship to relationships, why do you think your life is miserable? It is a sin to pretend you like someone you don't like. It's a sin to ruin someone's life by pretending you like them. You're giving them false expectations. When they end up realizing you don't like them in the future, and they spend all their time and energy, pleasing you, doing everything they can to make sure the relationship works, only to realize that it's not that they're evil people who abuse you. It's just that you don't like them. You force yourself into a relationship with someone you don't like just so that you won't be mocked for being a single person. Just so that you won't be mocked for being alone. Now you've ruined their lives. You ruined the lives of your partner who just wanted someone who liked them, who dated you because you tricked them into thinking you liked them when you didn't. Now you realize that your life is even worse than it was before. You want to break up with them. Now you're trying to ruin their life, trying to mess their life up. Isn't that unfair? Isn't it unfair to try to ruin someone's life just because you don't want to be alone? You're giving them false expectations, pretending you like them, just to betray them in the future. Do you really think you can pretend to be, to like someone for the rest of your life? It's very hard. You'll be tested and you'll be punished for lying to people. Lies are sins. It is a sin to lie in this world. A great sin. If you spend your life lying, you'll be punished for it. If you lie and pretend you like someone you don't like, you'll be punished for it. You don't have to tell the truth, but it's a sin to lie. This is how the world works. The God will not punish you for not telling the truth, but God will punish you for lying. You always have the right to remain silent. You always have the right to avoid a question. You always have the right to leave someone alone if you don't like them. You have that freedom to walk away, to distance yourself from them. You don't have to lie in this world, but you don't have to tell the truth. You shouldn't lie, because the moment you start lying, the moment you start behaving like Satan is known as the father of lies. Satan is called the father of lies in the Bible. So if you're a liar, you're behaving just like Satan does. You're behaving just like Satan. And what do you think will happen to you? You spend your entire life lying. You're going towards hell. You're not going towards heaven. Your life is probably miserable right now because all you do is lie. You're so afraid of being alone that you start lying and pretending you like someone you don't like. It's only a matter of time before you start experiencing the consequences of your actions. Why do you think so many people get divorced? Why do you think there's so many divorces? It's because people prefer to lie and pretend they like someone they don't like than to be honest. Because you get mocked and insulted by society for not being, in a relationship. Many people force themselves to get into a relationship with who they don't like and then break up with them in the future, ruin their lives because their selfish desires to be alone, to be in a relationship. Because of their selfish desire to be in a relationship, they ruin the lives of someone else. When they realize that it's very hard to pretend you like someone for the rest of your life, very hard. It gets worse and worse because you get punished more and more. The longer you live in the world of lies, the longer your punishment, the worse your punishment becomes. This is how the world works. The closer you go towards hell, the more miserable your life becomes. And it's so enticing to go towards hell. It's so easy to just get into a relationship with anyone, pretend you like them. That's how easy it is to go to hell. It's easier to lie than it is to tell the truth. It's easier to get into a bad relationship, to avoid being with yourself, to avoid being called that old, lonely loser. Just to avoid being called an old, lonely loser by your friends or family members, right? You force yourself into a bad relationship. And then get punished by God for lying. You don't get a free pass to lie in this world. You don't get a free pass. You always be punished for your lies. You will always be punished for your lies. When things start to fail in your relationship, just know what that means. It means your lies sooner or later will start to fail you. God will pull all those lies out so that your partner can know exactly who you are. You'll sooner or later find out who you are. Someone who's only pretending to like him or her. And this is what you have to deal with in life, is that the road to hell is easy, but there's a reason why it's called hell. It's miserable there. You will suffer, and suffer even more. The road to heaven is hard. Being single is hard. But when you're single, it's easier for you to find someone you actually like than it is when you're in a relationship. No one wants to be with someone who's already in a relationship with someone else. They'll see you as a cheater. They see you as a dishonest person. And they'll probably cheat on you in the future. Those who decide to get into a relationship with you, knowing you're in a relationship with someone else, will never see you as an honest person. They'll never see you as a good person, but an evil person. A manipulative demon. That's how they'll see you. Someone who's tricking someone else right now. Someone who's lying, who's scamming someone, pretending they like them, while in a relationship with someone else. You'll never be trusted by either side. The person you're cheating with will never trust you because you're a cheater. And the person you're cheating on ever find out that you're cheating on them, things may not end up well for you. That's why it's called hell. It's miserable it's miserable on both sides. When you go to hell, if you end up getting into two relationships, it will be miserable on both sides. But when you're single, when you're alone, it's so much easier to find someone who likes you. It's so much easier to get into a genuine relationship when you're alone than when you're already in a relationship with someone else. The road to hell is easy. The road to heaven is hard. But there's a reason why it's called heaven. That's where happiness is. That's where joy is. That's where peace and contentment is. You can only enjoy your life in heaven. You can't enjoy your life being a liar. You can't enjoy your life being a deceiver. You can't enjoy your life being a violent lunatic. You can't enjoy your life being a mocker, an insulter, or a bully. These people will always be miserable. People who behave this way will always live miserable lives. And that's how this world works. Do not be tricked into thinking being alone means you're worthless. You're never worthless in this world because you'll always be God. Everything in this world is God because God is everything. And in this world that's ruled by duality, all opposites are equal. In the eyes of God, everyone is equal. It means just because you're small does not mean you're worthless. Just because you're small and lonely, right, does not mean you're worthless. Small and large are equal and opposites. They are equal and opposites. Because they're equal, just because you're large does not mean you're better than someone that's small. The whole human race is not better than one single human being. An adult is not better than a baby. In the eyes of God and the rules of this world, a baby is just as important as a full-grown adult. A baby is just as equal as a full-grown adult. Small and large are equal. Although they appear opposite, opposites, they're still equal. Just because you're small does not mean you're worthless. Just because you're small in this world, this large world filled with so many planets, filled with so many galaxies, does not mean you're worthless. In the eyes of God, you're just as important as this whole world itself. Because following this rule of this world of duality, small and large are equals. They will always be equal. A baby will never be worthless just because it's small. Just because someone is taller than you does not mean they're more valuable than you. A small bullet can still kill someone. Just as a bomb, we talk about nuclear bombs killing people, right? A small tiny bullet can kill someone just the same. Just because a bullet is small does not mean it's worthless. Just because a bomb is large does not mean it's more valuable than a bullet. Size does not matter in this world. Just because the human race has billions of people does not mean you are worthless. In the eyes of God, you are just as valuable as the entire human race. You're not worthless in this world, and you never will be. You just can't. The very rules of this world tell you that you're not worthless. This is part of the rules of the world. Small and large are equal and opposite. One and many are equal and opposites. Left and right are equal and opposites. Up and down are equal and opposites. Movement and non-movement are equal and opposites. And the key word is equal. You will always be equal in the eyes of God. No matter how many people there exist in this world, you will always be valuable in the eyes of God. God will never see you as worthless in this world because you're not worthless. Even when you're alone, you're still not worthless because you're still God. Because God is everything. God is also you. And you will never be worthless in the eyes of God. Because God himself is never worthless. God is not worthless. And that's how this world works. Do not see yourself as worthless as being, if you're someone who's not in a relationship or have that many friends, you're not worthless. You've never been and never will be. It's just part of the rules of this world. Size does not matter. It's not about size. Quality over quantity. It's best to be happy by yourself than to be miserable with a group of friends. It's better to be happy by yourself than to be in a miserable relationship where all you do is contemplate suicide all day. It's better to be happy by yourself than, be in a group of people that ruin your life, that mock you and insult you all day. Every day, all they do is mock and insult you. All they do is bully you. All they do is find ways to pick on you. All they do is irritate you, day in and day out. You have in-laws that mock you, insult you. They always look for, reasons to mock you. They always look for reasons to say you're worthless. You have friends that insult you. You have people you just know are your enemies, but because they still pretend they're your friends, there's nothing you can do to kick them out. You still pretend they're your friends. Avoid going to hell. The road to hell always appears enticing. You get to meet society's expectations. You get to tick that ticker. I'm in a relationship. You get to tick that ticker. And I have a bunch of friends. When none of your friends like you, all they do is mock and insult you all day. All they do is bully you. When no one's watching, they just come and start beating you for no reason. And you still call them friends. Because, you want people to think you have a lot of friends when none of them are your real friends. All they do is pick on you. You call them, you say stuff in your relationship. You show off your relationship. You're behind the scenes. All your spouse does, all your partner does is bully you, mock you, insult you, and just find different cruel ways to bully and pick on you and make your life a living hell. But at least you call yourself, at least you can say you're in a relationship right now, right? Do not fall for scams. Do not fall for scams. Being alone is not what you think it is. Because God will always be with you. Because God will always be with you. You will never be alone in this world. Because this world is all one. This world is all God. And God will always be with this world. God will always be with you. Do not allow people to manipulate you into a dead-end relationship. Do not allow people to, manipulate you into hanging out with your enemies, pretending they're your friends, knowing full well all they do is bully you. You still call them your friends when you know full well your life is in misery because of them. They are the reason your life is miserable, not you, them. But because you don't want to be mocked for being single, you don't want to be mocked for not having friends, you allow these enemies to come to your life and ruin it. You allow these people to come to your life and bully you endlessly. Is that fair to you? Do you really think that's fair? To live a life of misery just because you don't want to be called alone? You don't want to be seen as lonely? Is it fair? God will always be by your side. God will never leave you alone. As long as you follow the will of God, God will make sure all these people disappear from your life. The people who mock you will vanish from your life as time goes on. God will remove them from your life. The more you walk towards the gates of heaven, the more these evil people are removed from your life. They are yanked out by God from your life. This is how this world works. There's a reason why it's called heaven. It's because mockers do not exist in heaven. Insulters do not exist in heaven. Bullies do not exist in heaven. Cruel villains do not exist in heaven. People who just spend their entire life treating you badly. They make it their hobby. Bullying you become their hobby. These people do not exist in heaven. But you must first decide to walk towards the gates of heaven before these people get removed from your life. They will not get removed from your life if you keep going towards them. If you keep trying to hang out with people who mock and insult you all day. If you keep trying to hang out with people who always try to demean you, who always try to make you feel worthless. You will never go towards the gates of heaven when you're walking towards the gates of hell instead. These people will never be removed from your life if you keep allowing them to bully you, to mock you, to insult you. You must find a way to walk out of their lives. You must find a way to go back to God. Go back to where you belong. And sooner or later you realize that you were only lonely or alone for only a period of time. As you walk towards the gates of hell, it'll start with loneliness. Then God will slowly bring people who you truly like into your life. When you stop settling for liars, when you stop settling for bullies, God will pull good people into your life. God will force out the demons from your life and bring people worth valuing into your life. This is how this world works. But you must first stay away from the bad guys. Otherwise, you'll never attract good guys into your life. If you don't walk away from the bad guys, the good guys will run away from you. Because good people do not like being around evil people. Good people do not like hanging around mockers, insulters, and bullies. They don't. That's why they're good people. They stay away from villainous people. They stay away from cruel people. They stay away from violent people. That's why they're good. They don't mingle with people who harm them. They don't mingle with people who insult them. Because they're not always, being mocked and insulted. They're always in a happy mood. Because they're always in a happy mood, they'll always, bring joy into your life. They'll always like to bring joy into the life of others. They will always want to share their happiness with the rest of the world. That's why they're good people. They'll avoid evil people, and because they avoid evil people, they attract good people into their lives. But if you never avoid evil people, you will never get good people in your life. The only people you will get will be other evil people just like you. Because only an evil person dwells in a world of misery and doesn't want to come out. Only a resident of hell likes being in hell. Only a resident of hell feels comfortable being surrounded by people who mock and insult them all day, who makes their lives miserable all day. Only someone who makes other people's lives miserable hangs around people who make their lives miserable. Stay away from evil people because they'll drag you down and beat you with experience. They'll drag you down to their level and then beat you with experience. Stay away from people who mock and insult you. You will not win the debate. all the mockery and insults. You think you can defeat the devil by fighting, but the devil is the master of fights. You will not defeat the devil when it comes to fighting. When it comes to mockery, insult, and bullying, you can't defeat the devil. He's a master. He's the father of fights. He's the father of arguments. He's the father of bullying. His life is miserable and he doesn't care. But you care that your life is miserable. And that's the difference. He doesn't care if his life is miserable, but you do. So how can you win? How can you defeat someone who already lost? You can't. The devil has already lost, so it has nothing else to lose. But you still have a lot to lose. That's why you need to avoid the devil. That's why you need to avoid sinners. That's why you need to avoid evil people. That's why you need to avoid mockers, bullies, and insulters. Because they've already lost and have nothing else to lose. Yet you still have a lot to lose. Do not lose your happiness just to dwell in a world of misery. Just so that, you take the ticker that you're in a relationship. Just so that you take the ticker that you're with a bunch of friends. You lose your happiness just so that you appear happy in front of others. You enter a world of misery. Stay safe out there, God will always have your back. In this world, God will always have your back. So even while you're alone, God will never leave you. God will never leave you because you're always God. God is everything, including you. Because God is everything, including you, God will always have your back. Even when the whole world has betrayed you, God will still have your back. So that's it for today's podcast episode. I pray for everyone's safety and understanding. Amen.